Hey guys, and welcome to this video. So in today's video we are talking about what British people think about Canadian driving. Now this is going to be an emotive topic, I know. Please don't get offended by whatever I say. Like, some of it is just going to be sarcastic jokes, and just don't get offended, okay? Just because most of Canada drives bad does not mean you drive bad, and that's not what I'm saying. So anyway, when we came to Canada, the first place we actually lived in was Ontario. Now, a lot of people say that Ontario is the worst drivers and everything like that, and I tend to agree with that. But if you were to come to Canada and you were to go to Ontario, and then you were to go to Alberta, and then you were to go to British Columbia and let's say a vacation, you would not notice any differences. You would just think, wow, nobody has any idea how to drive here. And the funny thing is, it's just simple things. And this is like the easiest country to drive in. Like, America and Canada are probably one of the two easiest countries to drive in the world. The roads are huge and so on and so forth. Like, there's barely any corners here in Alberta apart from when you're turning at lights and interchanges. And that brings me on to another hilarious thing, is corners. Now, here in Alberta, I've noticed that people have no clue how to go around a simple corner. You get people who just slam on their brakes. You get people who just brake through the corner when you're meant to accelerate through a corner. You get all kinds of stuff, and then you get just really poor lane discipline. And this is just a theme across Canada and America. Like, lane discipline is just terrible. You see cars that are just weaving all the time, and then you look over and they're usually on the phone or doing makeup in the mirror. I don't know why I did that. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Why won't you just drive? And you know what? There's all these terrible accidents that happen. You know, I see accidents all the time living in a big city here in Canada. It was just not common to see that in the UK. Like, and considering how many people drive in the UK, I think that's quite amazing. And even though the UK drivers aren't the best either, we have some of the worst road rages that you could ever think of in the UK. It is bad. And that's the whole thing. Like, driving here is sort of like mental torture, especially in the city, because when I used to drive around Toronto, I had to be such an aggressive driver. It was like driving in Miami, Florida. And if you've ever driven in Miami, Florida, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, people don't make any space for you. There's no such thing as giving way. You just kind of have to ram your way into traffic, and it's just weird. You have to be super, super aggressive. But then the funny thing is, I would drive out to Milton where we lived, and that just would not be tolerated there. And you're like constantly driving in this place, and you can see how, like, then you get these people who are doing stupid things outside of the city, which would be considered like normal in the city. And driving here has been an experience. I mean, I'm coming up to equal amounts of time of both driving in the UK and driving in Canada. And because of the rental car laws for young drivers in the UK, I haven't driven since I left there. I left there when I was 22 or 21, I can't even remember. And now I'm coming up to 27. So that is a long time. Now, I drove ever since my 17th birthday. I passed my test. The UK driving test is very strict. The Canadian one, not so much. And the funny thing is I've actually had experiences with this, even though I haven't done the test myself. But anyway, trust me, the driving test here is like a doddle compared to the one in the UK. The thing that they do have, though, is like where you have to drive with this particular type of license for a long time. They call it graduated driver scheme or something like that. It is a load of shit. Like, they should get rid of that, make the test way more stricter, and then they'd have better drivers on the road. And I think you do see, like, especially here, in Alberta like a lot of anxiety drivers on the road that just don't have a clue what they're doing. You know, people are so unpredictable here on the roads. Like, you really have to keep well back, and just because you never know what's going to happen, right? I've seen people do all kinds of things. I mean, put it this way, people say Alberta isn't as bad as Ontario, but I never had seen before cars going on an entry ramp onto the highway coming down the wrong way until I came to Alberta. And I think we're just coming up to equal time now that we've been in Alberta as we had been in Ontario. And I've seen that not once, but twice on the same ramp. And it's just like, it boggles my mind. And you know what? Every time I go out, there's something I see. Like, I see people nearly have an accident, or people nearly crash into me. Like, every time I go out on the roads, and I go out a lot on the roads because of my job at all different times of the day, and I see this. And I went out today, for example. I was coming off the highway, and this guy is 4 lanes across from me. I'm on the exit only ramp. He darts across all the lanes, just barely misses like the concrete barrier off the highway. Like, he'd obviously realized, shit, I need to get off here, and just went bam across like 3 lanes of live traffic. One car, and here we talk about anxiety, the lady nearly lost control of the car because she was so freaked out by how close this car got to her that she kind of did that, you know, where you steer really aggressively, and that can almost flip a minivan. And you can look at YouTube videos and see that happen. But guys, yeah, like, the driving here is nuts. And I don't care whether it's BC, Ontario, wherever the heck it is. There is bad driving everywhere. You know, BC is notorious for bad drivers. The funny thing is, each province thinks it's better than others, and they're not. It's just like they're worse for different things than the other one. Like Alberta, it's all about people don't have a clue when it comes to highways and shit like that. Whereas in Ontario, I would actually say they're better on the highway, but off the highway, they're way, way worse. And it just is nuts considering. And you just never know what you're going to encounter on the roads. And people are always shocked by what they see when they come over to visit us. And you know, it's kind of amazing. And we both managed to live here for 4 years and not have an accident until last year, where we got rear-ended. And I've seen people get rear-ended. I mean, I just can't tell you how many different accidents that I've seen. I've seen everything. I've nearly had trucks take out my car in Ontario. I've had all kinds of things. I've had people driving down the wrong side of the road. Like, all kinds of stuff have happened. And you know, yeah, I definitely got into close encounters in England too. And English drivers, they aren't the best, and they're worse for a lot of different reasons too. But on the whole, when you consider like the roads in England are narrower and it's way, way harder to drive there, most of them are driving manual transmission cars, you would expect that the driving would just be better here. Now, if you do go out to like towns and stuff like that, people generally have a more laid back attitude to driving, so they're generally better drivers. And you do get a lot of drivers that are good. But yeah, like, just most of the drivers are just nuts. And when it comes to like touristy season and you're getting all these people come and they're driving on the Trans-Canada Highway that goes from Calgary to Banff, and you've got all these people who've just rented cars, they've just come out the airport, and they have no clue what they're doing. You see all kinds of shit going on. And I think this is the only province, anyway, I don't know, maybe it happens in other provinces, where I've seen cyclists cycling down the highway. Now, I'm a cyclist myself, but I just think that is the stupidest thing you could do. I mean, that's literally like playing roulette with your life every time you go out. And why would you want to cycle alongside a highway with all the fumes and all the noise and everything when you can cycle down one of the many beautiful paved paths that are in Calgary. But people do this. It's usually the whack job meathead cyclists, but people do this, and I'm just like, are you crazy? Because it only takes one car or one trucker who's just not paying attention, or who's just a little bit too tired, who veers off onto the shoulder, and boom, like that cyclist is just dead. And I've never seen that in any other provinces. Like, it didn't happen in Ontario. You couldn't cycle on the 401 or anything like that, but quite often we see it here in Calgary on the ring road, Stony. Cyclists are using that as like a cycle path, and I just think, yeah, that's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. You know what, this video. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it right there. By the time you see this video, I'm gonna be in Vancouver Island. Hopefully I'm gonna be able to upload some videos whilst I'm there for you guys, or at least one video, but I really don't know. It depends on the internet connection and such. But I'll definitely be taking videos, but I just might have to edit them and do them when I come back. And if you're interested in seeing like beautiful landscapes and stuff of the places we're gonna go in Vancouver Island, then follow me on my Instagram. I'll leave it in the pinned comment. If you wanna follow me, you're more than welcome. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace and love as always, guys. Take care and bye. P.S. Do not take this personally, please.